Wings of Empire, the birth and legacy of the RAF. The Royal Air Force wasn't just the world's first independent air force. It was born out of total war. Created on April 1st, 1918, by merging the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Naval Air Service, the RAF quickly became a symbol of Britain's global military might. Its true baptism of fire came during World War II, where the RAF played a decisive role in the Battle of Britain. Pilots in Spitfires and Hurricanes defended the skies against the Luftwaffe in what Churchill famously called their finest hour. Radar, coordinated air defense, and elite flying skills turned the tide of history and gave the RAF a reputation for innovation and resilience. Post-war, Britain's empire shrank, but the RAF adapted. During the Cold War, it became a critical NATO pillar, operating nuclear-capable V-bombers like the Vulcan and Victor, and contributing to deterrence alongside the United States. From Falklands air raids in 1982, where Vulcans flew 8,000-mile bombing missions, to Gulf War sorties, the RAF proved its ability to project power far from home. Its reach extended from Europe to the Middle East and beyond, thanks to a network of overseas bases, tanker aircraft, and deep interoperability with allies. But the legacy of the RAF isn't just about history, it's about evolution. Through multiple conflicts, technological revolutions, and strategic realignments, the Royal Air Force has remained at the forefront of aerial warfare. Today, that legacy continues, blending tradition with transformation. In the age of stealth, drones, and cyber warfare, the RAF stands as a symbol of continuity in a rapidly shifting defense landscape. Structure and strategy inside the Royal Air Force. The Royal Air Force is a compact, high-tech force built for speed, agility, and global coordination. While smaller in size than some of its counterparts, the RAF punches far above its weight thanks to its structure, strategic doctrine, and seamless integration with NATO and allied partners. The RAF is divided into several key commands. Air Command, headquartered at RAF High Wycombe, oversees day-to-day operations and long-term strategy. Number 1 Group, responsible for combat air power, including Typhoon and F-35 squadrons. Number 2 Group manages air mobility, intelligence, surveillance, and force protection. Number 11 Group handles multi-domain integration, focusing on air, space, and cyber operations. Britain's defense strategy relies heavily on joint capability. The RAF works hand-in-hand with the British Army and Royal Navy, especially aboard the HMS Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier, where RAF F-35Bs operate in tandem with Royal Navy aircraft. The RAF also maintains permanent overseas detachments, including in Cyprus, Akrotiri, the Falkland Islands, and Qatar, Al Udeid. These forward deployments extend Britain's reach across Europe, the Middle East, and the South Atlantic. Strategically, the RAF's doctrine is built on 4 pillars: control of the air, intelligence and surveillance, precision strike, rapid global mobility. This is supported by real-time command systems, early warning radars, and satellite integration through the UK's Space Command, launched in 2021. The RAF is no longer just a fighter force, it is a multi-domain power, operating across air, space, and cyberspace. In today's contested world, the RAF's structure is built for what Britain calls integrated deterrence, a future-ready model that blends technology, alliances, and readiness for high-end warfare. The cutting edge. RAF's modern aircraft fleet. The Royal Air Force maintains a small but extremely advanced fleet designed to deliver air superiority, global strike capabilities, and full-spectrum mobility. It's a force built not on mass, but on technology, precision, and strategic versatility. At the center of the RAF's combat power is the Eurofighter Typhoon, a highly maneuverable, multi-role fighter capable of both air-to-air and ground attack missions. Equipped with advanced radar and Meteor beyond visual range missiles, Typhoons dominate the skies in both NATO and expeditionary operations. Constantly upgraded, they remain the backbone of Britain's quick reaction alert and frontline air defense. Complementing the Typhoon is the F-35B Lightning II, a fifth-generation stealth fighter capable of short takeoff and vertical landing (STOVL). These aircraft operate from both land bases and the Royal Navy's Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers, giving the UK unmatched flexibility in projecting stealth power anywhere on Earth. For surveillance and command, the Poseidon P-8A maritime patrol aircraft and the new Wedgetail E-7 AEW&C are central assets. They provide anti-submarine warfare, long-range reconnaissance, and battlefield awareness. The RAF also operates MQ-9 Reaper drones with the new Protector RG Mark I, based on the MQ-9B Sky Guardian, set to expand autonomous strike and ISR capability. Strategic mobility is powered by aircraft like the C-17 Globemaster III, Voyager KC-2, KC-3 tankers, and A400M Atlas transports. These platforms allow the RAF to deploy troops, supplies, and aircraft across the globe with speed and efficiency. And behind the scenes, Space Command and cyber operations support the air fleet with encrypted communications, satellite tracking, and resilience in electronic warfare. From dogfights to stealth missions, maritime patrols to drone strikes, the RAF's air fleet represents a shift in doctrine from Cold War mass to precision age mastery. Each aircraft is part of a coordinated system, fewer in number, but smarter, faster, and deadlier than ever before. Forging the elite. RAF pilot training and doctrine. Becoming a Royal Air Force pilot means entering one of the most rigorous elite aviation programs in the world. RAF training is built on tradition, technology, and tactical adaptability, preparing pilots for everything from high-intensity dogfights to long-range precision strikes. Training begins with selection at the Officer and Aircrew Selection Center, OAC, in RAF Cranwell. Those accepted enter the Royal Air Force College Cranwell, where they undergo officer training alongside their flying instruction. The pilot journey is then divided into phases. Elementary flying training, EFT, on aircraft like the Grove Prefect T-1 to assess core flight skills. Basic flying training, BFT, where students are streamed into fast jet, multi-engine, or rotary paths. Advanced jet training for fighter candidates happens on the BAE Hawk T-2, simulating combat scenarios, formation flying, and air-to-air tactics. Those bound for frontline squadrons transition to the Operational Conversion Units, OCUs, where they specialize on Typhoons, F-35s, or other assigned platforms. Here they train on live weapons, night flying, air refueling, and multi-domain operations. RAF training also emphasizes joint interoperability. Pilots participate in NATO exercises like Red Flag, Cobra Warrior, and Air Defender, operating alongside allies and learning integrated air tactics. RAF pilots are trained not just to fly, they're trained to command, communicate, and adapt under pressure. Instructors stress mental resilience, precision decision-making, and situational awareness. Simulators, digital battle environments, and augmented reality tools are increasingly used to prepare pilots for the complex battle spaces of the future. Whether deployed to defend UK airspace or operating from an aircraft carrier halfway around the world, RAF pilots are expected to perform with professionalism, precision, and strategic impact. They are more than aviators. They are frontline tacticians of Britain's global air power. Global reach. RAF operations around the world. The Royal Air Force may be based on a small island, but its operations stretch across the globe. From the icy skies of the North Atlantic to the deserts of the Middle East and the Indo-Pacific, the RAF delivers strategic mobility and global presence far beyond Britain's borders. One of the RAF's key tools for this reach is the Air Mobility Force, which includes C-17 Globemaster III, A400M Atlas, and Voyager tankers. These aircraft allow Britain to deploy troops, aid, and equipment within hours anywhere in the world. Whether it's evacuating citizens from crisis zones, delivering humanitarian aid, or supplying remote bases, the RAF plays a vital logistical role in global operations. In combat zones, the RAF has been highly active over the past 2 decades. In Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and Syria, RAF Typhoons and Tornado GR4s conducted thousands of precision airstrikes against enemy positions. Drones like the MQ-9 Reaper carried out intelligence, surveillance, and close air support missions. The RAF's role in Operation Shader, the UK's contribution to the anti-ISIS coalition, showcased its surgical precision and long-term endurance. The RAF also maintains permanent overseas deployments, including RAF Akrotiri, Cyprus, a key hub for Middle Eastern operations; Mount Pleasant, Falkland Islands, safeguarding British territories; Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar, joint operations with the US and Gulf allies. In peacetime, the RAF supports NATO air policing missions in Eastern Europe and the Baltics, deterring Russian aggression and reassuring allies. RAF fighters regularly intercept Russian aircraft near UK or Allied airspace, showcasing their readiness and commitment. But the RAF isn't just reacting, it's shaping the future through carrier strike groups, deploying F-35Bs from HMS Queen Elizabeth in global exercises and freedom of navigation missions in the Indo-Pacific. For a country with no land borders, air power is Britain's front line, and the RAF makes sure that front is everywhere it needs to be.
Facing tomorrow's threats.
RAF in a new age of warfare. In the 21st century, air power alone isn't enough. The Royal Air Force is evolving to meet threats that are faster, quieter, and more unpredictable, from hypersonic weapons and stealth aircraft to cyber attacks and anti-satellite strikes. One of the most pressing concerns is the return of great power competition. Russia's renewed assertiveness in Europe and China's expanding influence in the Indo-Pacific mean the RAF must be ready for high-end conflict, not just counterinsurgency. That's why Britain is committed to modernizing its force posture with F-35B squadrons, new E-7 Wedgetail AEW&C, and cutting-edge electronic warfare systems. But the battlefield has moved beyond the atmosphere. In 2021, the UK launched Space Command, and the RAF is now responsible for tracking satellites, monitoring space threats, and preparing for possible orbital conflict. With rivals like China and Russia developing anti-satellite weapons, maintaining space dominance is no longer optional, it's essential. Cyber warfare is another front. The RAF is developing hardened communications, AI-assisted decision tools, and advanced cyber defense teams to ensure its networks and aircraft can operate under digital attack. In a world where GPS can be jammed and drones can be hijacked, resilience is just as important as firepower. There's also the growing presence of unmanned systems. The upcoming Protector RG-Mk1, a new generation of remotely piloted aircraft, will give the RAF long endurance, high-altitude strike and surveillance capabilities, fully NATO compliant and armed with precision-guided weapons. These transformations are guided by Britain's Future Combat Air System, FCAS, which includes the Tempest stealth fighter, a sixth-generation aircraft being co-developed with Italy and Japan. Tempest is expected to feature AI co-pilots, drone swarms, and advanced stealth, all aiming to ensure the RAF remains at the forefront of aerial dominance through 2040 and beyond. The RAF of tomorrow isn't just about jets. It's about data, networks, satellites, and autonomy. And in this rapidly changing environment, Britain's Air Force is evolving fast. Because the next war won't wait.
The future of the RAF: innovation, alliances, and global command.
As we look ahead, the Royal Air Force stands at the edge of a new era, one defined not only by technology, but by strategic relevance, international partnerships, and multi-domain dominance. Central to this vision is the Future Combat Air System, or FCAS, and the Tempest fighter program. More than just a jet, Tempest represents a complete air combat ecosystem: manned and unmanned platforms, AI-driven mission systems, cloud-connected sensors, and swarm-capable drones. With partners like Italy and Japan, the RAF is co-leading a shift in global aerospace design and manufacturing. The RAF is also doubling down on sustainability. It aims to become the world's first net-zero air force by 2040, testing synthetic fuels, hybrid engines, and green logistics systems. In a world where climate and defense increasingly intersect, Britain is setting the standard. But hardware alone doesn't define a future-ready force. The RAF is investing in people and partnerships. Its emphasis on joint operations, with NATO, the US, the EU, and Indo-Pacific allies, ensures interoperability in any theater. From the Arctic to the South China Sea, British jets fly shoulder to shoulder with partners, sending a unified message of deterrence and defense. Meanwhile, training is transforming. Virtual reality, AI-assisted simulations, and integrated command environments are replacing traditional classrooms. Pilots are being trained not just for flight, but for information warfare, contested airspace, and real-time strategic decision-making. Ultimately, the future of the Royal Air Force lies in flexibility, speed, and resilience. In a world defined by unpredictability, the RAF must be able to shift from humanitarian aid to high-intensity combat, from air patrol to space surveillance, in hours, not days. With a legacy for...
Thanks for watching. From Spitfires to stealth fighters, the RAF's journey is one of evolution, innovation, and global power. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Explore our full playlist, Air Forces Uncovered, where history, strategy, and future tech collide in the skies. See you in the next mission.